Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I'm Fpl Gw21 and this is the very last video I am recording in the UK. And when you get this, I'm 100% going to be about whatever it is, 21,000 feet in the air or whatever. I will 100% be on the leg from London to Kuala Lumpur, where I'll be stopping for like an hour or two, and then I'll be on board Kuala Lumpur back to Perth. And then I'll be traveling 6 hours by car in order to get home to Kalgoorlie to my normal setup to send you a deadline day stream on Tuesday night. So please bear with us. I normally would release these videos later to the deadline, and this one is literally just a free video because there's been so much space in between the last game week and this one. I've obviously done my chip strategy. You probably should check out. I think I've nailed it on for what you should be doing this particular season. Again, thank you to everyone that has subscribed while I've been in the UK. And without further ado, let's get into final decisions. I don't normally do one of these videos. Normally just whack it in as like final plugs, but I'm actually doing a finals decisions video because there's actually a lot to talk about before game week 21 deadline. So without further ado, please make sure you smash a like on the video. Subscribe if this is the first time you're seeing me. And yeah, let's jump into final decisions. So the big question I've been getting, particularly on my TikTok channel this week, people asking, who do I captain? All right. And look, do you continue the blind faith with Mo Salah, or are there better options? Now, at the end of this, I'm going to talk through this little graphic here, and then I'm going to actually hop in and assess the best captaincy options this week. So if you want to jump ahead to that, please jump ahead. But I have made a little short about it as well, so check that out as well. But I think there's five realistic captaincy options this week. And I'm not sure that Mo Salah is actually the best one. But we'll have a look at that in a little bit. So are Man City finally finding some form? So they have won 3 games on the bounce, 4 games on the bounce, whatever it is. And look, the kind of run of fixtures has definitely helped them get back to winning ways. Whether this continues, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But look, Brentford, obviously a high-scoring team, but they do concede goals at the G-Tech. This game could be anything. This could be a 4-4. I've had a dream that I put out in my final selection video that Phil Foden gets a brace. I'm hoping he gets a brace because I've got him still on my team. Look, Man City are hitting some form. I'm not sure if it's a place you want to go to yet, but it's definitely somewhere I would definitely think about doing. Something you do need to be aware of, though, are the new manager bounces that we are likely to see at both West Ham and Everton. 2 teams lower down the table, 14th, 15th, 12th, whatever it is, around there. They're around where my team is, Man United. So that's pretty similar spots. I would expect David Moyes, and it's rumored that he's not currently the manager when I'm recording this, but I'm expecting that he's definitely going to be the manager. I'm expecting that he's going to make them even better than what Sean Dyche had them defensively. So David Moyes had West Ham really good defensively. I can't see Everton becoming that much easier to score against. And hopefully they can sign a striker to make them even better. So from a defensive standpoint, I don't think Everton's going to be any easier. And I think that we should be wary of those games. So Aston Villa obviously go away to Everton this game week. So it might not be as an easier fixture, which maybe if you're thinking about benching Morgan Rogers or buying him this week, maybe that just holds your sway. In regards to Ollie Watkins, I think it could be a sell because Duran's obviously going to be back. That's another question that lots of people have asked this week. Ollie Watkins, do you hold? Do you sell? I think he's a sell for me. In regards to West Ham, I've obviously seen Graham Potter's team play against Aston Villa. They lost. They did look way better defensively. However, they also copped a bunch of injuries in this game. And they're now going to be without Fulkrug and Bowen and Antonio. I'm not sure where they're going to be scoring their goals from. Like, Paqueta scored the goal here in the FA Cup. I'm just not sure if that continues moving forward. So realistically, they might need to sign a forward. And some of it also looked like he went off with an injury at halftime as well in this game. So that's a lot of their attacking options. I wouldn't be too concerned if you're rocking a Fulham defender. I obviously have Robinson in my team and I will be playing him against West Ham. But I am expecting a new manager bounce. And that's something you need to be aware of, particularly with those 2 teams. They might not be as easy a fixture as we thought they would be over the last coming weeks. So you do need to monitor injury doubts before making transfers. I wouldn't be making transfers until literally during the deadline stream on Tuesday. That is when I will make a transfer if I'm going to make one. Yes, there's been a few price rises and drops this week, but there haven't been many because of the fact there's been such a long time between the deadlines, and there's no one that's really looking like going to go up and down for me that I want to move on. And realistically, I'm not going to be able to move on him anyway because I'm going to be sitting there 21,000 feet in the air and I don't even know if I'm going to have internet. So there you go. In terms of predicting clean sheets this season, it's been a hard process. And if you are relying on the expensive defenders like Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, springs to mind. He's now with Connor Bradley back as well. I just don't think you can bet on anyone keeping a clean sheet. So that means that defenders that have attacking potential outside of Nottingham Forest assets, because they don't know, they just keep on keeping clean sheets. It's amazing how Aina is the top scoring defender in the game, 5.2 mil. He's a lot better. He's 2 million less than Trent, FYI. Just saying. If you want to save 2 million, you've got Trent, you don't have Aina. It's an easy transfer, that one. Or do you just as I said, just target defenders with attacking potential. I have Hall, I have Robinson, I have Kirkes, 3 really attacking defenders. I then have Timber, who's kind of attacking, I'd say. Like, he has been getting in really good positions. Arsenal just unfortunately haven't been scoring many goals. And then obviously I've got Colwill, and Colwill's the one that's probably going to go because he doesn't really have any attacking potential, and I want someone that is. So I am looking at potentially Munoz for him, but I'm just concerned about the blank game weeks. So we do have to be concerned about that as well. At the moment, it's Tottenham versus Fulham blanking in game week 29 and Crystal Palace against Newcastle. But if the Arsenal and Liverpool overturn those legs, it would then be Liverpool against Aston Villa blanking, which I'm expecting to happen. I expect Liverpool to win at Anfield and win fairly easily. But Newcastle and Arsenal, I don't see Arsenal overturning a 2-0 deficit at St. James's Park. I just can't see it myself. So I feel like at Newcastle, Crystal Palace is going to be blanking. And I'm not going to be playing my free hit in game week 29. I've got that set up for blank game week 34, who we have no idea who's going to be blanking at the moment. But West Ham won't be because they've lost in the FA Cup. And whoever loses between Man United and Arsenal will also not be blanking in that game week, which makes those assets look really good on paper. You need players playing 90 minutes every week. I think that is a nailed-on thing. And they have to be nailed-on starters. You don't want rotation risks at this time of the season, particularly when we've got to be worrying about blanks and transfers and whatever. I think what you want to do is get players in, playing 90 minutes, and you can just leave them in your team, not have to worry about them. They're going to return. Like Bruno Fernandes. Like, the dude plays almost 90 minutes every week for Man United. There's not much to love there. Not much to like there. Ahmad's very much the same at the moment as well. Just sign a new contract. Let's see if that changes his form. Hopefully it doesn't. He continues on, because that means I don't have to waste a transfer trying to move him around. I just leave him in my team. They haven't got a blank in game week 29, and when they also have a very nice fixture in game week 29 as well. I think it's Leicester away. They're looking more and more appealing by the minute. Lastly, who needs moving from our teams, and who are the best buyers across defence, midfield, and attack this week? Well, without further ado, let's jump into what I think are some of the questions that people have asked, and let's get into it and respond to them really quickly. So this week, the benching decisions have been like thick and fast. Lots of people have good benches. At the moment, I'm benching Kirkes and Colwill. Now, there is a world where you could start both of them. I'm also benching Chris Wood. Now, I'm benching Chris Wood over Nicholas Jackson because I feel like Nicholas Jackson is due a return. The dude has been playing well. And for me, lots of people have asked, do I just sell Jackson? No, I'm not selling Jackson. Yes, you could go to Mateta, but Mateta now looks like he might blank in game week 29. His data is nowhere near as good as Jackson's, but he is also on penalties. So, Crystal Palace really, is their run of fixtures really that good with the new manager bounce? They've obviously got Everton and West Ham over this fixture run. Maybe those are 2 fixtures that are no longer green fixtures. I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. In terms of best buys this week, it definitely if you are buying new and you don't have one of the Newcastle players across either of the lines, so that's Lewis Hall in the defence. He's definitely the best defender buy this week. In the midfield, it's probably Anthony Gordon. If I was going to move Phil Foden this week, it would be to Anthony Gordon or to Eze, and I'd be rolling them. And then in the forward line, if you don't own Isaac, you have to own Isaac. Like the Newcastle assets, with the form that they are in and the run of fixtures they've got. So the run of fixtures we're talking about here, Wolves straight up at home, Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Fulham at home. 3 of the next 4 at home against what should be fairly nice fixtures for them. And then the only away fixture is Southampton. The next 4 weeks are just delicious. The 3 after that, a little bit harder. But then they've got another nice little run of fixtures. Yes, they're going to have potentially the blank in game week 29. But then they've got West Ham, Palace, Brentford, Leicester, Man United. Like, it's not a bad run at fixtures for Newcastle. Like, they're just all really good options on paper. And Lewis Hall, look, this man has now got 4 assists for the season, 0.02 expected goals, 0.18 expected assists. He's definitely the best attacking defender you can buy under 5 million this week. 100%. Now, lots of people ask me about Robinson and, the new manager bounce of West Ham. Look, I'm expecting, I couldn't believe they conceded against Ipswich. I couldn't believe they conceded twice. But I'm definitely holding the faith there. And I think that's definitely somewhere where you could go. 0.15 expected goal involvement per 90 is really good as well. Now, lots of people have been asking me about these players. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, lots of people concerned there. Do you sell him? Well, realistically, he costs 7.2. And if you bought him at 7.2, you've only owned him probably since the West Ham game. And I always said the West Ham game was an outlier. Like the goal that he scored was off 0.02 expected goals. Like it was a one-off. I don't think he's worth 7.2 mil. I haven't had him since he was 7 or 6. I think he even dropped to 6.9. I think I got rid of him around game week 8 or game week 9, around there, somewhere around here. I got rid of him when he got injured. Maybe it was game week 10. I'm not sure. It was around there. And I haven't even thought about bringing him back. Like realistically, he's only had two double figure hauls this season. In comparison, Kirkes has had 12 and 10, and he cost me 4.8. Hall's obviously had, whoops, that's Kirkes, my bad. You can tell I'm looking forward to getting home and just doing these videos at home. Hall's obviously had 2 big hauls as well. Again, fraction of the price. So you can see where I'm going. In regards to defenders, the best buy is actually, not this week, but for the following 4 weeks that follow, Aina, Milenkovic, any Nottingham Forest defender, they are just so good on paper. They have just been defending so well. I think that is definitely someone I'm going to bring in. Colwell is most likely going to become a Nottingham Forest defender when they play Southampton in game week 22. That's realistically the best play. I actually think this week, if your team looks okay on paper, you just sort of roll with it. Like I'm rolling mine this week. In terms of the midfielders, now Brian Mbeumo, lots of people saying, oh, do I get him in? He got 19 points. He played Southampton. He is a flat track bully. He's got 19 points against Southampton. Obviously got the 13 against Newcastle. That was nice. But he got 15 against Ipswich and 14 against Southampton. Outside of that, those are the only 4 double-figure hauls this season. He's got Man City and Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Spurs up next. The next 4 weeks are not nice fixtures for Brentford players. So for me, Brian Mbeumo and Wissa, not really thinking about him until game week 25. So if you're trying to base a decision on that, it is what it is. Now, lots of people have been asking me as well about Maddison and Luis Diaz. Now, these guys are just minutes risk. In terms of Maddison, I just don't think Ange likes him all that much. So even though Bentancur went off of a head injury in the Carabao Cup, I expect Maddison not really to be showing that much. And they've also got Arsenal at home. After that, potentially you could look there if he was back in. But for me, the 8.1% that I own probably should look to offsell him. Now, Luis Diaz has been like this all season long. 22% ownership still. Lots of people may be holding him, hoping that you can get him through to game week 23, Ipswich, and then the double game week in 25 or 24. But I wouldn't be confident he starts both of those games in the double game week anyway, which is why for me, I think he's a sell. I wouldn't be hesitating to sell him. And obviously being aware of the injuries. Jared Bowen obviously needs to be sold. Van Linson needs to be sold. João Pedro is definitely a watch. But like the best buyer this week, 100% is Bruno Fernandes. Like he is the best buyer this week. So on to the captaincy decision. And everyone's asking, is there a better captain than Mo Salah? Now, Mo Salah's numbers this season are insane. 0.85 expected goals per 90. He's almost expecting a goal per 90 minutes. It's mad. And 0.24 expected assists per 90. He hasn't blanked since game week 7. He's only blanked twice all season, in game week 4 and game week 7. Every other week he has returned, at least with a goal or an assist. Now, against Man United, it was only a goal, no bonus points, and it was from the penalty spot. But the man doesn't miss penalties, really, most of the time. So, look, Nottingham Forest, Nottingham Forest defensive numbers are probably close to the best in the league. They're not the best, but they're very high up. They're in the top 4 teams for like defensive data this season. And they do keep clean sheets and they do limit opponents to chances created. So look, I think there are potentially better alternatives this week, but Mo Salah at the moment is still my captain in my team this week. And yeah, the second best option I actually believe this week is a differential because a lot of people will be looking at Isaac as the second best option. For me, it's actually Bruno Fernandes. Now, Brian Mbeumo, as we saw last week, got 19 points against Southampton. 2 goals and an assist, 3 bonus. Bruno Fernandes has the capability of going massive. So if we go back to the Southampton game, he got 1 assist off 0.57 expected goal involvement that game. And they weren't overly flashed that game. Then obviously he started not really doing much. He's been disappointing until like game week 10 against Chelsea, where he got that goal, got the 3 bonus, kept the clean sheet. Lot to love there. The Leicester game obviously popped off, and this is what I'm expecting against Southampton is the Leicester game, which is why I think that Bruno Fernandes potentially might actually be. He is someone that I'm definitely considering. I really need to see the Sunday games before I can comment, which is why I'll be making this decision on my deadline stream on Tuesday night. But that Leicester game just fills me with great anticipation. I know the numbers weren't actually overly big. He got 3 returns off 0.41 expected goal involvement. But that is the kind of thing, like Bruno Fernandes normally outperforms his XG, generally speaking. I don't know what he is for the season here. So he's 6.2 for the season in terms of goals that he's scored 4, and he's 3.6 assists for the season, and he's got 7 of them. So he's underperforming his goals, but he's outperforming his assists quite significantly. I'm expecting him to deliver here against Southampton. I think he is the best option this week. If you are thinking of taking a punt, and at the moment I'm not, but he's my vice captain locked in at the moment. The third based captain this week, I think, is actually Isaac from Newcastle. Got the Wolves fixture at home. This man has scored 69 points in the last 7 weeks with 3 double-figure hauls in that space, 11, 11, 17. I'm not expecting him to score a hat-trick, but he could easily get a double here or a goal and an assist quite easily against that Wolves defence. Like I saw enough of them against Nottingham Forest. On the count, quick breakaways, Gordon, Isaac, Hall, Murphy, they're all going to go to town here. I expect Newcastle to score at least 3 or 4 goals. Isaac's going to be involved. I wouldn't be worried about a tie hamstring. I was probably just conserving him for this game. He's not going to play in the FA Cup anyway. They've got an easy game there. So yeah, look, he's definitely I've got him ranked as number 3 on the list. For number 4, it is Cole Palmer. Now, some people might say he's got a higher, but I just think Chelsea aren't in the best run of form, and they haven't been scoring lots of goals. Like the last few weeks, 1-1 draw, 2-0 loss, 1-2 loss, 0-0 draw, 2-1 win. The last time they scored multiple goals in a game comfortably was the Tottenham game, and then obviously the Southampton game, and then the Villa game. So like they have gone off the boil offensively, and that's coincided with Nicholas Jackson kind of going off the boil as well, and Lavia being out of the team. But Lavia looks like he's back in training, back in the game, back in the team. If he is, that means Enzo's going to be further forward. Chelsea become a lot better attacking wise. Hope Nicholas Jackson will be starting. Cole Palmer could easily return big here, and he does have a massive ceiling. But for me, he comes in at number 4 this week, based on the fact that Chelsea haven't been scoring a lot of goals of late. Now, number 5 is actually not in my team, but if you owned him, it would be Erling Haaland. Now, this guy, it's a bit rich saying he's back in form, but he has scored 3 goals over the last 2 weeks. After he missed that penalty against Everton, he has looked better. He outperformed his XG, doubled it on the weekend against West Ham in the last game week, and obviously outperformed it in the Leicester game as well. I'm expecting him. Brentford concede goals at the G-Tech. Like, they're not a very good defensive team. I think they've kept 1 clean sheet or 2 clean sheets all season. I'm expecting Erling Haaland to pop off. He could easily get a brace here and return another 13 points quite comfortably. And then he's got the Ipswich game the week after, which is probably the best captaincy choice there. So for me, the only reason why I did this, because the captaincy debate, I think this week is wide open. One of these 5 players probably should be your captain, and the other one should be your vice captain. those are the top 5. That's the order I've got him in. I've still got Salah as captain in my team. I'll just quickly go to pick team here to show that. He is captain in my team at the moment, but Bruno Fernandes is vice, and that could well change before the deadline. Make sure you join me for that on Tuesday. I'll see you then. I'll be back in Australia. Wish me a safe flight, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. That's been the D Unit.